Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome back to another video. As you guys can see from the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be answering the number one question with this car in 2025. And the question is this BMW M3, this E92 competition, still relevant in 2025? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the obvious answer. At first, my personal opinion is I think yes, it is still an amazing car. It is still a very relevant car in 2025. Comment down below what you guys think initially, if you disagree or you agree. However, I want you guys to comment after the video is finished as well to see if maybe some of the things that I said changed your mind at all. But with that being said, let's dive into this car and some of my personal reasons why I feel like this beautiful E92 M3 competition is still reliable in 2025. So I have a little list of some of the reasons why I think that this car is going to be, or is still relevant in 2025. And first, let's get the whole confrontational bit out of the way early, okay? If you guys are familiar with the BMW community, you know that in 2025, BMWs are just astronomically faster than they were, let's say 10, 15 years prior, maybe 2010, 2015, etc. You know, these guys are downloading emails and putting on a piece of metal and they're getting an extra 150, 200 horsepower just like that. You know, back in the day with this car, we definitely had to do a lot more work to make power that was somewhat similar. But needless to say, this 2012 BMW M3, I think, came off the lot with somewhere between 400 to about 425 as far as horsepower goes, and I believe somewhere around 300 torque. Now, back then, you know, in 2012, in the late 2010s or early 2010s, 400 horsepower was a decent amount and 300 torque was pretty decent. Obviously now, in 2025, cars are much faster. But does that mean that this car isn't relevant anymore because it's not making 750 wheel? Very not true. This car on the track, as far as power goes, I personally believe that this power band that it makes with the power and the torque gives you almost a perfect balance. Of not too much car that it becomes unusable, but just enough to where anything you ask this car to do, it will do, other than go 0 to 60 in 1.6 seconds, which is what everybody's trying to do nowadays. But as far as on a track and a very track focused, or even toge, or some of the twisties that you'll get at the tail of the dragon and stuff like that, this car gives you everything that you can ask for and more. So as far as power goes, I definitely think 400 horsepower is still relevant in today's car market. Not only that, 300 torque, it's not incredible, but it's definitely more than, I would say, your brand new Type R or your Integra Type S or the GR Corolla, you know what I mean? Just to put it this way, side by side, I feel, or I think this E92 M3 with what it has done, which isn't really much, but just a little bass tune and a transmission tune from Alpine, this basically is comparable in power and torque to, I would say, maybe OG M2 stock for stock. So I would say this is very comparable to something that is of that nature. Yeah, I definitely think that it makes enough power. I definitely think that the power band is something that is very relevant in today's society. Now, if you compare it again to a brand new M3 that comes with like 500 off the lot, then no, it's not going to be a straight line, fast car like that, but it doesn't mean that it's not relevant anymore. All right, so as far as comfortability goes, I really want to say, as far as relevancy, these seats are extremely comfortable. One would even say the E9X seats are more comfortable than the F8X seats, which is this car's predecessor. I could be wrong, but I do know that it's very mixed opinion on whether they like these seats better than the others. Obviously, we don't have carbon buckets in here, which I also do hear that those seats are pretty uncomfortable as well. But I don't hear anybody complaining about the E9X M3 seats. So as far as comfortability, it's definitely comfortable. This car comes with EDC. For those of you who do not know what that is electronic dampening control. That definitely helps, and what that does is it basically stiffens the suspension to whatever need you are trying to do with the car, whether you're trying to race it or you're just, driving home from work, stuck in traffic, and you just want it to be a smooth ride. So that's what that EDC does. So I definitely know that as far as relevancy goes, there's a lot of cars out here on the market right now, brand new off the lot, that do not have EDC. So it definitely goes to show you that M cars are definitely built ahead of their time. So they offer a lot of things that the market then has to catch up to. So, obviously this car is about 13 years old. So the market has caught up and in some cases surpassed it, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that this is still a very relevant car. In mine, I have an aftermarket head unit, which gives me CarPlay, it gives me Android Auto, it gives me YouTube. I have so many different applications that I can have on this, as well as working seamlessly with the original heads-up unit that it did have. So that is definitely something to boost the morale of this car, which is one of the main reasons why I did get it, because I had CarPlay. One of the things that I was looking for when purchasing a newer car to me was, hey man, does the car have CarPlay? Does it have this or does it have that? So not only did this car have CarPlay, but it actually has a backup camera too, which definitely helps to make this car more relevant in 2025. I have the magnetic paddle shifters, which a lot of people are looking to do in their M's now. There's a lot of little key features in this that I feel like it's for the enthusiasts, where BMW started to appeal to a lot more different crowds. But now in this model, they just gave you all the stuff that you needed, and they said get out there and basically just go out there and have fun. I have heated seats, great air conditioned heating. This car does have a DCT, which is great. Even when it comes to shifts, it shifts on a dime. Yeah, so as far as comfortability, even the shifts with this car, you can change to whether they shift smooth or they shift more rough, depending on whatever your needs are going to be. So for this car to still have the impact that it does in 2025 and all of these options, honestly, to me, it's definitely one of the best bang for your bucks when it comes to comfortability and interior wise. Okay, so moving on to the next topic. And by the way, comment down below if you agree with some of the things that I'm saying. Most of this stuff is based off of my own opinion and experiences that I've had owning this car for about the 2 years that I've owned it. But I definitely know they definitely have a lot of validity to what I'm saying. But next on the list, looks. As you can see, the E92 or the E9X M3, as far as looks go, ask any BMW M enthusiast. They will tell you that this is, aside from the F80 M3, this is one of the most iconic BMW M3s ever made. It does have the only V8 in an M3 ever made, but that's aside from the point. We'll get to that later. But as you can see, this is the looks of this car. It definitely does not look ugly in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't have kidney grills that are half the size of the bumper in any way, shape, or form. It looks great. All I really did was just take the original competition package wheels that I had, and I did them over in a gloss black, and it made the car look completely more aggressive. I'm sitting on BC coilovers, and I believe I have a 12 mil spacer in the front and a 10 mil spacer in the rear. I went with a GT4 style lip. I have aftermarket precision auto work halo rings. I also have a carbon fiber eyelid. I went ahead in another video, which if you guys go back, you can watch the whole install that I did for the headlights. But this whole package right here that you see was probably like 400 bucks to do. It really wasn't that expensive. And as you can see, it really made this car look more modern. It made it look more aggressive. It made it stand out more, and it really didn't break my bank. We have carbon fiber kidney grills, carbon fiber front lip, and that's it. As far as the front goes, I have carbon fiber side skirts, carbon fiber side mirrors, carbon fiber rear. There's carbon all over the car, which is kind of essentially, what you do if you want to make your car look a little bit more aggressive. But as you can see, the looks aren't bad at all. Any Apex wheels that you decide to go will make this car look more aggressive as long as they're 18s. But the looks are great. I do not have a carbon fiber roof, but I I have the roof with the sunroof, and I went ahead and I just wrapped the top black. That way I can try and make it look as seamless as possible. But let's be real, as far as being in 2025, this car still breaks necks everywhere it goes. People are always complimenting me on the look of this car. And not only that, these cars are becoming a little bit more rare. So it definitely makes it more relevant when you see one in 2025. Comment down below, what do you think the best mod to do to these cars are? Like, what's your favorite? Is it a GT style lip, or is it the canards that they have here? That might be next on my list. Comment down below what you guys think, and let's move on to the next one. All right, so last but not least, one of the things that make this car relevant in 2025 is you guys. Believe it or not, you guys single-handedly will make this car relevant, and by that I mean the BMW M community. If you ask any BMW M fan, they will tell you all the time that they feel like the E9X M3 is the last true M3 ever built, you know, and it's directed towards the BMW enthusiast. And that's kind of what makes this car still relevant in 2025. It's that it's still a highly sought after car. We just left Cars and Coffee just now, and somebody already tried to make me an offer on my car just as I was leaving. There were so many people that were asking me, hey, you know, rev it. Let me hear it. So you guys alone by yourself will make this car relevant in 2025 and maybe all the years following to come. So the last thing that I believe makes this car relevant. Now, these are all off the top of my head, okay? The last thing that I believe makes this car relevant is the aftermarket scene, to keep pushing this car to a platform to where you still look to buy it in 2025 because of all of the different aftermarket items that you can buy. Just like I said, the backup camera, you know, we have the Apple CarPlay integrated, the exhaust. So many different companies came together, and so many different companies give you guys so many options for exhaust to do. Now, I have a full titanium exhaust all the way from my headers all the way back that is valved from Tobii Performance. So you already know it sounds completely amazing. I love it to death. Like I said, we have the BC coilovers, and the BC coilovers, they do get rid of your EDC, which you'll have to code out. But honestly, the way that my suspension is now, it's leagues above what the stock suspension was. And $1,200, $1,400 coilovers to up your suspension 2x, 3x, can't go wrong with that. However, there's still a lot of people that go with your HASS kit, the height adjustable spring kit that you can get from KW. You can go lowering springs. A lot of people bag these cars. There's so many different options to do and to have with an E9X M3, even as far as changing the tail lights, changing the housings. There's so many different rear diffuser options that you can go with. There's so many different things that you can do in the aftermarket scene for this car. So that's all I got, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you think that this car is still a relevant car. I didn't really do a whole bunch of crazy research. This is just my opinion that I've had and through my experiences owning this car for the past 2 years, whether it be me talking to different enthusiasts and just diving into this platform for what it is. You know, I love this car. It's definitely opened up a lot of doors for me, and it's pretty safe to say it's a clear-cut answer for me that this car is definitely a car that's still relevant in 2025. So comment down below what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.